Dawn had the choice to file the case as a Jane Doe, and she chose not to do that. After giving it a fair amount of thought, she wants accountability.
Coming to the after party alone? Yeah!
Good, you're doing so good.
I just want to say,
Y'all won't believe what just resurfaced. A shocking video clip of Diddy, yes, that Diddy, inviting a young actress to one of his now infamous after parties has absolutely rocked the internet. And trust me, with all these disturbing allegations about his private gatherings coming to light, this isn't just any old clip. Picture this: Diddy and Ashton Kutcher caught on camera backstage at the 2003 MTV Movie Awards. What seemed like an innocent moment back then? Well, honey, let me tell you, with everything we know now, it feels like we're watching the beginning of a much darker story unfold.
Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Let's set the scene, shall we? It's 2003, and the MTV Movie Awards are the place to be. The stars, the glamour, and right in the middle of it all is this incredible young rising star, Daveigh Chase. She's fresh off her absolutely bone-chilling performance as Samara in The Ring. You know, the one that had us all sleeping with the lights on. And get this, even though she was just a minor, this girl was already making serious waves in Hollywood. I mean, her performance was so phenomenal that she beat out some serious heavy hitters to win Best Villain that night. It should have been her moment to shine, her golden ticket to stardom, but oh darling, what happened next will make your skin crawl. There's Diddy, drink in hand, because of course, with Ashton Kutcher by his side as they're presenting Daveigh with her award. And then comes that moment, that awful, cringe-worthy moment when Diddy leans in and asks if she's coming to the after party tonight. The way she just nodded shyly and that loud, booming yeah from Diddy, I get chills just thinking about it. Back then, maybe we all just laughed it off, but now it feels so wrong.
Guys, we are lucky to have Precious Miura here, and she's been at the Diddy parties, and she's about to spill some secrets.
I mean, seriously, what kind of grown man, especially one with Diddy's reputation, thinks it's okay to invite a young actress to these notorious industry after parties? And honey, let me spill the tea about these gatherings. The whispers about what went on behind those closed doors have been circulating for years, and let me tell you, it's not pretty. We're talking about carefully controlled environments where only the chosen few were allowed in, and what happened there? Well, those secrets were locked up tighter than Fort Knox.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet's The Interview, the series where we get in depth with amazing people, and I'm so honored to have this special guest with us here. Precious Miura, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, my love?
I'm great. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm making sure I center you a little bit more. There we go. So honored to have you here. You have some stories to tell. You've survived the white.
But here's where it gets even more twisted. Ashton Kutcher, America's favorite prankster, Mr. Punked himself, was right there in the thick of it. He and Diddy were practically joined at the hip back then, hosting events together, showing up at all the hottest spots. Everyone thought it was just this beautiful Hollywood bromance, you know? Two successful guys bonding over sports and entertainment. But now, oh honey, now people are asking some seriously uncomfortable questions about just how deep Kutcher's involvement really went.
Okay, so basically I was a Playboy bunny. So a Playboy bunny representing New York State. The reason why I need to clarify this is when you're a Playboy bunny, you are part of the corporation, and you are a bunny, and you do have a title and you wear a uniform, but you don't get a month.
Let's really dig into this because it's absolutely mind-blowing. There's Ashton Kutcher riding high on his fame from Punk'd and his blossoming movie career. Everyone's darling, the guy next door who made it big. But his connection to Diddy, that's raising some seriously eyebrows now. I mean, these exclusive events we're hearing about. Could Ashton have known what was really going on? And if he did, this is what keeps me up at night. What role did he play in all of it? Now, I'm not saying there's any smoking gun linking Kutcher to wrongdoing, but this resurfaced clip has everyone wondering about his relationship with Diddy and just how much he knew about those infamous parties. And speaking of those parties, oh my word, they weren't just parties, they were events with a capital E. The kind of gatherings that made tabloid editors salivate and had everyone else wondering what really went on behind those velvet ropes. The power dynamics at play were just shocking. And that code of silence? tighter than a designer dress on awards night. Year after year, stories would leak out about these gatherings, painting this disturbing picture of a world where normal rules just didn't apply.
But like I said, you know, the entertainment industry is very, very, very messed up when it comes to, you know, the bigger you get, the more you had to do to get there. And so if you're not willing to put yourself in that position, you kind of have to.
But here's what really gets me, the fact that Diddy would even think about inviting someone like Daveigh Chase to one of these parties. I mean, hello? What kind of environment was he trying to expose her to? And let's not skip over the obvious. Why was a minor even on the guest list? These aren't just idle questions anymore, especially with all these allegations swirling around Diddy. Was this just a terrible lapse in judgment, and this is what keeps people whispering? Was it part of something much more sinister?
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, you know, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
Now let's talk about Daveigh Chase's Hollywood journey, because this is where things get really interesting. After The Ring, this girl should have been everywhere. She had the talent, the presence, she could hold her own with the biggest names in the business. The world should have been her oyster. But then, something changed. Sure, she kept working in film and TV, but that meteoric rise everyone predicted, it just never happened. And you have to wonder, did her brush with Diddy and Hollywood's inner circle play a part in this? We may never know for sure, but this resurfaced clip has everyone asking questions about what really happens to young actresses trying to navigate this shark tank of an industry. Now, I know what some of Diddy's defenders might say. Oh, you're taking this clip completely out of context. It was just a harmless joke. But honestly, with everything that's come to light since then, who can possibly give him the benefit of the doubt anymore? This is a man whose reputation has been plagued by controversy for years, with whispers and accusations following him like a shadow. This resurfaced clip? It's just adding fuel to an already raging fire, reminding us all of those burning questions that still need answers.
You know, if you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or, you know, when they're constantly asking you, would you like to do and you're like, well, I don't do, and they're like, well, why don't you do?
And don't even get me started on Ashton Kutcher's deafening silence about all of this. I mean, this is the same guy who's built this whole second career as some kind of social justice warrior, right? You'd think he'd have something, anything to say about this clip and the allegations against his former buddy. But what do we get? Crickets, complete and utter silence. And honestly, that silence speaks volumes. What exactly is he trying to hide?
I don't know the consequences of what that could have been. So I didn't really talk about it. I should have gone to the police. I should have said something other than to my agent. I'm just thankful that there was somebody there. There was somebody at that party who helped me, because I could have ended up in a really bad situation.
The whole Diddy Kutcher connection is just one thread in this massive web of intrigue and suspicion. Their friendship, once celebrated as this fun Hollywood bromance, now feels tainted by all these allegations about Diddy's behavior. And while nobody's pointing fingers directly at Kutcher, this clip has cast this dark shadow over his legacy. It's raising all these uncomfortable questions about his role in Hollywood's culture of, well, let's just say looking the other way.
There is so many people involved in this situation that works the machine here, that, you know, Diddy's obviously the head of the whole situation. You know, the king of parties, but there is multiple other people involved that are helping along the situation or, you know, participate.
But wait, because this story takes an even darker turn, let's talk about the chilling parallels between Daveigh Chase and another Hollywood starlet, Britney Murphy. Both rising stars, both connected to people and places that make you question everything about Hollywood's underbelly. As we dive deeper into Britney's story, it gets harder and harder to write things off as mere coincidence. It paints this haunting picture of an industry where innocence is the first thing to go. And trust me, the story of Diddy's infamous party after-parties and their disturbing connections doesn't stop with Daveigh Chase. It takes this even more mysterious and darker turn when you look at Britney Murphy's life and tragic decline. Her story has haunted Hollywood for years, but now, with everything coming out about Diddy and his inner circle, people are starting to wonder if there's more to her untimely passing than anyone initially thought.
A gurney, it looked like she'd and they were putting tubes in her throat and trying to resuscitate her with paddles. And then her husband was here just wandering around and in his pajama bottoms, just looking completely dazed and shocked.
Let me tell you about Britney Murphy. Oh, this just breaks my heart. She was Hollywood's sweetheart, through and through. The kind of star who lit up every room she walked into with this infectious energy that you just couldn't ignore. Whether she was playing the adorably clueless Ty in Clueless or delivering that powerhouse performance alongside Eminem in 8 Mile, she could do it all. But behind that radiant smile, there were whispers, dark, troubling whispers about the pressure she was under, the people she surrounded herself with, and how those very connections might have led to her downfall. One of the most fascinating, and now potentially disturbing, chapters of Britney's life was her relationship with Ashton Kutcher. They met in 2002 while filming Just Married, and the chemistry was explosive, both on and off screen. For a while, you couldn't open a magazine without seeing them together, looking like Hollywood's perfect golden couple. They were young, beautiful, successful. They had it all. But then, just like that, it was over. By early 2003, they'd split up, and before anyone could blink, Ashton was making headlines with Demi Moore.
She was looking towards the future. She wanted to get her career back on track, and she was also looking to have a baby.
At the time, everyone just chalked it up to another Hollywood romance gone bust. But now, with everything we know about Kutcher's connections to Diddy, people are starting to ask the really hard questions. Was Britney exposed to that same dark side of Hollywood that we're hearing about from Diddy's parties? Did Ashton's connection to that world play a part in their breakup? Or even worse, did it contribute to the struggles that would later define Britney's life?
The fact that Britney Murphy, so young, and with people in the house who were supposed to be looking out for her, it really got people wondering, how could this have happened? And people just were never satisfied with any of the answers that came out officially, because it made no sense.
The timing of it all is absolutely chilling. Right around when Britney and Ashton were splitting up, people were already whispering about Diddy's extravagant gatherings. And let me tell you, these weren't your typical Hollywood parties. According to various accounts, they were meticulously orchestrated events with guest lists that read like a who's who of Hollywood. But what made them truly notorious was the atmosphere, one of secrecy, control, and if the allegations are true, exploitation. The rules were crystal clear. What happened at these parties stayed at these parties. Break that code of silence, you might find yourself blacklisted, or worse. Poor Britney was no stranger to Hollywood's dark side. By the mid-2000s, her career started shifting dramatically. While she was still getting roles, rumors swirled about her being difficult, her health issues, and her questionable associations. In Hollywood, gossip's common, but with Britney, it followed her like a shadow, dimming her once bright star.
5 months after Britney Murphy, Simon became ill. And he was experiencing the same symptoms as Britney Murphy. And he...
Enter Simon Monjack. Oh, what a piece of work. This British screenwriter she eventually married came with more red flags than a parade. By the time he and Britney got together, he was already facing fraud allegations. Britney's friends begged her to see the truth, claiming he was controlling and isolating her. But our sweet, romantic Britney, she believed in him even as her world spun into chaos.
I've never seen a case where a young wife and 5 months later, a youngish husband, basically from the same underlying factor.
Here's where it gets really twisted. The connection some people are drawing between Monjack and Diddy's Hollywood circle. While there's no solid proof linking Monjack to Diddy's parties, some believe Britney's relationship with him made her more vulnerable to Hollywood's dangers. Monjack loved the high life and knew how to charm his way into elite circles. Was he another player in this dangerous game? Did Britney's trust in him lead her into something far darker?
I had clients describe NBC as hell, as the worst conditions they've been in. If the government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being, they have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact...
The most bone-chilling part? Some believe Britney might have been silenced in a way that ensured we'd never learn the whole truth. Her own father has long maintained there was foul play involved in her passing. While these claims remain unproven, they add another layer to this already twisted tale. Looking deeper into Britney's life and her connections to Diddy's world, it's clear this isn't just about one star's tragic fall. It's about power, control, and the lengths some will go to keep their secrets buried.
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case.
And there's still Ashton Kutcher, whose role remains a mystery. While he hasn't been directly accused of wrongdoing, his long friendship with Diddy raises serious questions. Did he know about what allegedly happened at these parties? Why has he stayed silent? These aren't just idle questions anymore. The answers could shake Hollywood to its core.
What that means is the money that they're saying Diddy has to start paying this guy on October 1st, right. Diddy's team is like, hold on, we need an emergency conversation about why this should not have been granted. And they awarded him a TRO, which basically meant that Diddy's team was not allowed to sell any property in that state or anything related to what could be used to pay the...
The connections between these stories are like a spider's web, complex, tangled, and impossible to fully unravel. But as more people find the courage to speak up, the cracks in Hollywood's perfect facade are finally showing. For the first time, those who've been silenced are finding their voices, and what they reveal could change everything we thought we knew about Tinseltown's elite. So what do you think? Was Ashton Kutcher more involved in Diddy's world than he's letting on? And what really happened to Britney Murphy? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking revelations about Hollywood's darkest secrets. Until next time, stay curious. Stay curious.